first of all, can you tell everybody who you are and the job that you do in life?
Sure. I'm a state representative in Ohio, Nino Vitale, and we also own a family business in Western Ohio. We make brake parts for trucks. And I have 5 boys at home. So
You have 5 boys.
5 boys.
Wow.
Yep.
Your wife must be superwoman.
Yeah, I think so.
Must be. All right, so you have a child with a vaccine injury.
Well, our first one was born, and we actually had a nephew who was vaccinated and then had encephalitis, brain swelling. And so we were a little hesitant, but because of pressure and, you've got to do this and protect your kid from all these diseases. So we went for the first round with the first child, and following that for 2 weeks, he was basically a mushroom, lifeless, wasn't crying much, wasn't doing anything much, just totally changed after one shot. And
Do you know what shot that was?
I
mean, I'm presuming it's Hep B.
think,
But could be.
or DTaP maybe, I don't remember.
Wow.
They push all that. So fast forward 16 and a half years, he's now 16 and a half years old, and we have 4 other boys, so 5 total, and he is the first one usually to get something and the last one to be able to kick it. He has selective IgA. We have no idea where that came from, doesn't run in the family, none of the other boys have it. So he has this immune deficiency that's come out of nowhere. We can't prove where it's come from, but we certainly see strands of others who had negative reactions to vaccinations, and then they end up with this selective IgA. But he's just tremendously sick. And in fact, as we speak, I have the 4 oldest ones at home with a raging case of chickenpox because we didn't vaccinate.
Really?
Really.
And now how old are they, your chickenpox children?
16, 13, 11, and 9.
Well, congratulations
Exactly.
that they've got chickenpox. I mean, ideally it'd be nice to have it around 5 years old. But
Well, you can only lick
wonderful.
so many lollipops at other people's homes, and it just comes when it comes. So.
Absolutely. So everybody in this area, if your children are unvaccinated and you want chickenpox, get round to this man's house
That's right.
immediately.
If you want it the right way.
Right. And how are they doing with their chickenpox?
Fine. It's uncomfortable, but it's no different than a flu or anything else. It has its ups and downs. So.
My memory from my children having chickenpox is the day before the spots come out, they're really badly behaved. I remember thinking, what's the matter with these kids? What have I done wrong here? And then bang, out come the spots.
I don't know.
Well, your children probably never badly behaved.
They're pretty good, so yeah, they're all right.
All right, so your other 4 children have no vaccines?
No,
At all?
none.
Wow.
No.
And I bet how do you describe them
Great.
compared to the vaccinated children?
They're much healthier than the oldest one. They fight disease faster. Personality-wise, there's not a huge difference in any of the 5. They're all very good kids. But this is more of a health issue. This is more of a how do you kick it. And our oldest...
Who only had 1 vaccine. Let's remember that.
That's it. We didn't take him back for any other rounds because we noticed such a huge difference right in the beginning. So...
Now tell me, what do other people, because you're in a position, you're in the firing line really, with the position you're in to even be talking about this.
True.
What happens when you do talk about it with your colleagues?
I'd say firing line's the right. There is a trend in government to tell us all what we ought to be doing in every facet of our life. Doesn't matter what it is. And I mean, just look at what we're dealing with now. We have an unelected person controlling what's going on in our school lunch program everywhere in the entire country. Well, it's not much different than controlling what goes under our children's skin and what they should or shouldn't have. And it's all using scare tactics, and the public's health is at risk, and you must. And it loses the concept of the parents are the primary educators and the primary healthcare providers of their children. I trust the parents to make a good decision. So that's what I tell people. That's what I fight for in government. It's the parents' decision to make, not government's decision to make.
Wow, I wish everyone had that same thought process as you.
Well, when people show up and write big checks because you're willing to push these things, and there's a lot of money to be made when a vaccination is mandatory or required in schools, that's a lot of money.
Well, I was very green when I started doing all of this and was interviewing a senator in California, and I said, surely the politicians that accept the pharmaceutical money should not be allowed to pass bills like the SB 277. He just went berserk with me. He went absolutely bonkers, like over the top crazy with me, saying everybody takes pharmaceutical money. It means there'll be nobody left and in politics and.
I have no problems with taking the money, but the point is, with other politicians taking the money. But the point is, do you come to the issue with an open mind, and are you willing to separate truth from fiction from being controlled by the funding?
But is the funding given? If I give you X amount of money, you will not get up on stage and say that vaccines cause harm. I mean, do you have to abide by rules, or can you take the money and still say?
Well, if you love the job so much that you know the money will keep you in office, because it will. It helps tremendously to have a big bank account and be able to go to the voters and speak your name out there and beat on your opponent and maybe even tell lies, because it's okay to tell lies. Everybody tells lies anymore. It's not okay for me, but most people do. So if you've got the money to do all those things, sure, you're going to go up and you're going to speak highly of a drug company or highly of, and I'm not saying that all drug companies are bad or all drugs are bad. All I want is the truth. We have clear and convincing, way too many stories out there, like the selective IgA I talked about with my son. There's a lot of evidence. Now, granted, it's not researched evidence, but there is a lot of evidence to suggest maybe there's an issue here. And every time someone comes out with a new vaccination that potentially doesn't have the side effects, all of a sudden they vaporize. The company goes away. They either get bought up, or their doors close, or somebody gets bought off. Why? The government actually picks, and you probably know this, they actually selected the type of vaccination, the brand of vaccination. And they write things into the law so that no one else can compete. Why? If there's a different type of solution out there that's better, healthier, why wouldn't we want that? Give people the freedom to choose that. And if somebody chooses, I'm okay, I don't think my kid's going to die from chickenpox, I'll let 4 of them stay home and get chickenpox and build the natural immunity, why is that not okay? Who is it harming?
The problem we've got here is extremely serious.
Mm-hmm.
People are dying. They are, and this is something that none of us set out to do with this bus, or had any clue that the situation was as serious as it is. We have to stop this. We have to stop the mandates. I don't know what the situation is. We've literally just arrived here.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know whether you've got your religious exemptions.
Ohio's pretty good so far. We're pretty good. We usually have religious exemptions in all the laws that have passed. But that trend, as you know from your travel, is slowly moving away from any exemptions. So it's gonna get tougher, and we have to continue to fight it.
Right. Do you have any advice for us on the trail that we're on to have more people like you speak out about it? Because I'm a true believer that once people see you, it's going to give confidence for them to do the right thing. This is the right thing, what you're doing right now.
People have to be willing to come out. The one thing I've noticed is if people come out and they start calling and showing up at their representatives' offices, the government will respond. Ultimately, they're afraid to lose their position. And if people threaten their position or threaten to do something negative to them, they'll change.
So it's the people.
It is the people. I see the government. I see people. Most of the representatives do not come in with strong values one way or the other. Unlike me, I do. I told my district exactly what I was going to support, and I fight for those things. But most people don't. If that's what you're dealing with, then what they respond to is who's creating me the most pain. And that's what I've learned in 3.5, 4 years of government is whoever's creating the most pain, that's how the government will respond.
Have you seen the film Vaxxed? Have you seen our film?
Not yet. I've seen trailers.
Okay, I'm going to give you a copy. There's one other question. What? There's my brain. They're asking so many questions. Okay, well...
What do you think?
A Vaxxed?
No, what do you think should be done? I mean, what the trend I see is not going the way of the people, not going the way of true freedom.
I think the CDC, they know they're killing people. They know what they're doing,
Mm-hmm.
and they're digging themselves deeper and deeper and deeper. I think they've got to just stop right now. They've got to say they're sorry, and stop this crazy vaccine situation. I think we need to get people like Dr. Wakefield
I'd send
who
them
are
home.
incredibly.
I'd empty the building.
What would you do?
Empty the CDC out and close it down.
Yeah,
Gone.
100%.
Gone.
That's what I'm saying. Get people
Think
like-
about the flu vaccination up the nose. Right? Oh, everybody's got to get that. And now we've learned it's successful at a 3% rate. 3%. The CDC approved that. And then all of a sudden they back off. Do they make any press release? No. Do they say anything about, oh, we goofed that one up? How many things have been pulled off the market that the CDC has approved? I mean, it's countless. Countless. And by the way, where is the CDC in the Constitution? For those people out there who say, oh, I support the Constitution. Why do we need it? We're spending a fortune on it. And it's centralized everything in one place. And guess where all the money went? They're all going to the CDC, because if they get that CDC approval, poof, everything then goes out. And everybody must insert the fill in the blank here. Everybody must comply. The laws must comply. The mandates come out. Decentralize it. Let all 50 states decide what they want to do. It's a lot easier to march down to Columbus or your state capital and tell people how you feel than try to get something done in Washington, D.C. You can't get anything done in Washington, D.C. We can't compete with what's going on there.
It's so corrupt with people like Paul Offit.
Terribly. I'm not telling you there aren't good people. They're very good
Right,
people.
like Dr. Wakefield, like Dr. Suzanne Humphreys. We could put together 10 of the best scientists and doctors in the world that would sort out.
But
our
what does it
health
really
right
come
now.
down to? Trust.
Right.
I trust the parents to make the right decisions for their kids. It's not my job as a government official to do that. Simply not. That's
And
what
they
it
have
comes
to be
down
able- Yeah,
to.
they have to be able to have this choice. So what are we going to do? And we're going to do everything we can to stop this. If
You are.
if
You're doing a lot.
the nationwide mandates come in for vaccines, you can't fly, you can't go to school, you can't move, you can't go to hospital.
Right.
What are we going to do? My immediate reaction is easy for me. I can go back to England. I'm good. I'm just a citizen. I'm not a citizen. I'm just a
You're
resident.
not safe there either.
We're much safer there than we are here. We don't even have Hep B at birth. But I don't want to. I want to stay here and fight. My question.
The UN will take care of that. They'll get England in line.
Oh yeah, well England will follow.
Yeah.
Of course.
you guys just did a wonderful
we-
move with Brexit. So
Okay, that's another story. We'll do that later. But for now, we have to. The people. It's the people. I know the answer to this. It's the people.
it is.
And people like you talking about it. You're so brave. You have no idea how brave you are. And we really appreciate that. Because most people don't want to do it. They know what's going on. They just don't want to talk about it. They don't want to lose their job. They don't want to upset their wife. They don't want to. And we hear it the whole time. Thompson at the CDC.
Hey, but when you see a child harmed, how could you not?
I agree. But
Shame.
they do.
How could you not?
But they do.
Well, shame on me if I didn't.
Yeah. I want
When
to
I've
thank-
seen what I've seen. I
Thank
mean, that
you.
would be awful.